This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, and yes, guys. So the classes have been on and off because I have taken what do I say? Like I've taken a full day trainings. Okay, a full day trainings somewhere, and then so I was totally busy, and hence I couldn't take it. I couldn't continue with these classes, so that's the problem. Okay, yeah. Uh, Hang on, guys. Hang on. So I'm. There is middle of something. So quickly, I'll complete that. 2 more minutes. I'm sure I'll. Please hold on to it. Ita sign cheyalama. Ita kotalama sign in na. Okay. It awesome like. Okay. I know the classes have not been happening smoothly because, as I've told you guys, so I was. Mm, I was involved in a full day trainings for a company called Quality Kiosk. So totally busy with that, and I was getting tired because it was full day trainings. So yeah, I was expecting that with so much of break, very few people would like to join the class, and the two with a short notice. I've given, I think, notice just half an hour back. My team forgot to update. I already told them that the next class is on Saturday, but they totally forgot to update. Yeah. So how are you guys doing, all of you? Quickly, you can unmute, you can, and somebody wants to look at it. They have been asking me, so quickly I'll show my webcam. Okay, I thought I will show the webcam because people were asking me, so how do I look and all that. So this is me, guys, Kumar Gupta. Okay, so a lot of people were asking me, Kumar, why don't you switch on the webcam for a few minutes. Okay, so that is me, guys. And coming back to it, I'm switching off my webcam, guys, so I feel little embarrassed for whatever the reason. Okay, and let's go to the bug tracking. Okay, in the last class, okay, we have looked at the bug life cycle, right? I know the defect life cycle. So can you remember what is that? What are the different stages of defects, guys? What are the different stages of defects? I mean, it's been really long, but okay, let's say the tester has found a defect. He's writing the testing. Okay, now we have a tester, guys. Okay, what he has done? Okay, he has written the test case. Now he is executing the test case. Okay, he's executing the test case. There are two chances. What will happen to this test case? There are two chances. What will when you execute it? What will happen? What is the first chance? Or what will happen when you execute the test case? What are the possibilities?
Pass or fail.
Pass or a fail. If it is a pass, yes, go ahead and execute the next test case. Okay, but if it is a fail, okay, if it is a fail, what would you do? If it is
Report
a
the
fail,
bug.
what would you do? Yeah, so if it is a fail, what you do? You raise a defect. Okay, raise a defect. Okay, or write a defect or raise a defect. So what is the status? What is the status of this defect? So when you raise the defect, okay, there is something called status. I've been telling you. Okay, what will be the status when the tester raises the defect? And please switch off your
New.
webcams, guys. Yeah, new, wonderful. The status will be new. Okay, so Bhuneshwari ఒక్కసారి ఇక్కడ రమ్మా. Hang on, guys, 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so guys, the status will be new. Okay, the tester has raised the defect, the status will be new. Now where will this defect go? The defect, who is supposed to fix it? Who is supposed to fix it, Amma? Please, be active in the class, guys. Okay, who is
Developer.
supposed to fix it? Developer. Okay, now the developer will take the defect and will he change the status?
No, after fixing, sir.
Okay, so
Yeah.
after fixing it will change. But before fixing, will he change the defect status by any chance? Okay, this is what the tester will do. Okay, so now okay, now it goes to the developer. As soon as the new defect will come, automatically mail will be sent to the developer saying that there is a new defect which has come out. Now what will the developer will do to this defect? What status he will change it to? Yesterday we have, I mean, last class we have nicely put the picture and we have discussed in detail. Okay, he has four options. Either if he finds, okay, if he finds the defect is genuine, he will open the defect. Okay, he will change the status to open. Okay, but but somehow he feels that it is not a defect. Okay, then what he will change it to? He will change the status to either reject, or he can keep a hold on the defect, or he can say is as per the design, as per the design. Okay, so he has all these three options, Amma. Okay, if the developer feels that okay, the defect is not a right defect, if he thinks that it is a right defect, then definitely he will change the status to open. Once he changes the status to open, then the tester might be thinking that Amma, I have raised a good defect, now the developer has accepted it, now it is his job to fix it. Okay, it is his job to fix it. But in case if he thinks that it is not the defect, these are the options, okay. Now we will go in this positive path. What is that? He has opened the defect. Okay, now generally a development lead, okay, developer lead will open the defect. Okay, and then it is assigned to a particular developer. Okay, so under this developer lead, let's say there are three people working. Ranjan, Swati and Hussein are working for this particular lead. Who is the lead? Sai Prasad is the lead. So Sai Prasad has three people working for him. Okay, Ranjan, Swati and Hussein. So he thinks that okay, this defect can be assigned to Hussein, so it will be defined, it will be assigned to Hussein. Now what Hussein will be doing, he will get an email saying that a defect has been assigned to him and the status is open. He is working on the defect. He will take 3 days to fix the defect, and once he has fixed the defect, what is the status he will change this defect to?
Fixed, sir.
Fix. Okay, he'll change the defect to fix. Who? Hussein. Okay, a developer, not the development made developer. Immediately the mail will go to the tester. Who is the tester who has raised the defect? Let's say Priya has raised the defect. Okay, Priya is the tester who has raised the defect. Development lead, who is the development lead? Our Partha is the, okay, Partha is the development lead. He has assigned it to whom? Who has assigned it to whom? Hussein. Okay, Hussein has actually fixed the defect. He has taken 3 days to fix it, but he has fixed the defect. Immediately the mail goes to Priya saying that whatever the defect that you have raised it, it has been fixed. Now what should Priya will do? What should Priya will do?
Recheck it, sir.
Okay, she will retest the defect. She will retest the defect. Priya will do what she will do? She will retest the defect. Retest the defect. Now she has two options. What are those two options? Priya has two options. What are those two options? Okay, if Priya thinks that okay, the problem is fixed, what she will do it? Please unmute and tell me, guys. Okay, or put it in the chat window. Now Priya thinks that okay, the issue is already fixed. What she will do? Yeah, what she will do? Okay, she will close the defect. She will close the defect. But if she thinks that the defect is still there, what she will do? What she will do? What is the alternate path? Okay, if she
Resign.
thinks that okay, reopen. Okay, reopen. Once it becomes a reopen, again, it goes to the developer. It goes to Hussein. Hussein needs to refix it. Okay, GST సర్టిఫికేట్ పెట్టాము. ఓకే, 3 డాక్యుమెంట్స్ పెట్టి స్కాన్ చేసేసి అంత ఒకటే డాక్యుమెంట్ లో పెట్టి అటాచ్ చేయి. దాంట్లో మాత్రం పేజ్ 2 పేజ్ 3 అని రాయమ్మా. Okay, so wonderful. Okay, she will reopen the defect. Okay, but if it is closed, then the life cycle is closed. If it is reopened, then again it goes to the developer. developer will fix it again. If it fix it, it goes to Priya can close it again or reopen it. So that is the cycle. Okay, that is the cycle. So generally for managing this whole thing, okay, for managing this whole thing, it can be done in an Excel sheet. But again, Excel sheet cannot send out the emails whenever the status is moved from new to open, or open to reject, or open to fix. A mails will be sent to the right person. If the mails needs to be sent to the right person, Excel cannot do it, Excel tool cannot do it. But definitely this can be managed, this can be managed by Excel. Okay, only 10-20 years back they used to do it. But now, okay, this whole life cycle, okay, putting the defects into defects, it can be put into Excel. Okay, the whole life cycle can be managed by Excel. But these days nobody is managing it. There are separate tools for it. Different defect, defect management tools are there. Okay, we'll discuss about those tools also at the later point of time. Yes, there are tools. Okay, but you can manage it in the Excel as well. But Excel, it has a lot of limitations. Okay, it cannot send out the mails, and every time you change the status, the Excel version changes. It is very difficult to manage over there. So if you have a tool, it will be good. There are good open source tools available in the market. Okay, with the Jira, last time we have seen that yes, we can manage this defect life cycle. With ALM, we can manage this defect life cycle. And there are some open source tools also available with which you can manage these life cycles. Okay, anyways, so now we will create one defect in an Excel sheet. Yes, we don't have other Jira or something like that. At some point of time, I'll if possible, and if everybody interested, yes, we will cover Jira also next weekend. But now we will put a defect into an Excel sheet. We'll put a defect into an Excel sheet. Okay, so first let's open our test cases, whatever the test cases that we have written. Okay, we have written some test cases, right? So I hope those test cases we have saved it somewhere. I don't know where we have stored those tests. I don't know if we have actually saved those test cases or not. Let me look into it, guys. Let me give me one moment. Okay. Okay. Defect templates is there. Okay. So, oh my God, we haven't. Okay, this is the test case, na? The test cases that we have written, remember, these are not the test cases. Okay, this is not the test cases. We have written some test cases, if you remember, guys. So unfortunately I haven't saved those, or it is in the desktops, I believe. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Okay, so we have written some test cases, if you remember. These are the test cases that we have written. Okay, so let's try to execute a simple test case. Let's try to look at the simple test case. Okay, so okay, let's suppose this, guys, this test case TC015. Okay, it is written by our Syed. Okay, and this is a negative test case. And what it is saying, okay, enter the correct username and incorrect password and click on the login button. Okay, we forgot to enter, click on the login button. Okay, and click on the login button. Okay, and click on the login button. Okay, enter the correct, okay, okay, enter the correct username, incorrect password, and enter and click on the login button. Okay, Syed has written the test case and Syed himself is executing the test case. Okay, so what is the correct username password? Syed doesn't know. So what he's doing, he's looking into the test data field. He's looking into the test data, and then he has entered this correct username, which is jkgupta@gmail.com, and incorrect password, which is Isha123, which is Isha123. And what should happen? User credentials, this error message needs to be displayed. What is that? User credentials are incorrect, please check them. Okay, this is the exact error message that needs to be displayed. Okay, this displayed. But what is happening? What is the actual value which has come? Okay, home page is displayed. Okay, what is the actual value? Home page is displayed. So is this result pass or a fail, guys? Is this result a pass or a fail? There are
Failed.
13 people in the class. Okay,
Pass.
wonderful. Fail. Okay, this is particularly false because the expected value is not equal to the actual value. Expected value is what? It should show the error message saying that it is incorrect. But what it is showing, home page is being displayed. Definitely it is a fail. Okay, so there should be a defect for this. You have to raise a defect for this. You have to raise a defect for this. Please tell me.
No, sir. Yes, sir. If
Yes,
it's
you have
really
to raise the is failed. You have to raise a defect for this. So let's say the defect is raised and the defect ID is df112 or df001. df001. Okay, df001. Now let's raise the defect, guys. Let's raise the defect. Okay, so let's raise the defect. Okay, so we'll say these are the test cases. Now let me say rename test cases. Okay, and here this is the defect. This is the defect. Okay, defects. Okay, so now we have to raise the defect because the test case has failed. We have raised the defect because this test case that you have executed is totally failed. So we have to raise the defect for this. We have to raise the defect for this, guys. Okay, we have to raise the defect for this. So let's raise the defect. Okay, so first thing for the defect is you should have something called defect ID. Just for the just like in test cases, what we have, yeah, we have test case ID, required ID, other test case type, prerequisites, test case steps, test data, everything is there. Similarly for the defect as well, there is a template for that. Okay, we will see. First thing is for the defects, first thing is defect ID. Okay, so defect ID. So everybody should have a name. Okay, my name is Kumar. Similarly, the defect should have a name, which is the defect ID, Okay, okay, defect ID. Wonderful. Okay, the first one is the defect ID. Okay, the first one is the defect ID. Okay, second one is test case ID. Okay, so test case ID. Okay, sorry, defect ID. Okay, and the second one is the test case ID for which this defect has been identified. Okay, what is the defect ID? You can give any name, guys. You can give any name. I have given a name called df. Okay, df001. Okay, if you wanted to give sm001, it is okay, but give something which is meaningful. Okay, only 2 people are attentive, guys. Please, there are 14 people attending. I want everybody to participate. Okay, I want everybody to participate, please. Okay, we have Koteshwari, Abhishek, Ashfaq, Jagdish. Okay, Hanoni is there, Kamal is there. Please. Okay, that's when I'll draw the energy, guys. So I don't have any other motivation. All our energy, all my energy comes from you only. Okay, this is Saturday night. Okay, I'm still taking the classes only to make sure that the course is completed and whatever we have started. Okay, we have completed and there is some value addition to your life. Okay, only for that reason I'm taking. Okay, so this defect, okay, is raised for which test case, guys? For which test case? Enter the correct username, password, and correct username, incorrect password, and click on the login button. Yes, for this test case, this test case. But it has an ID. Yes, it has a name. What is it? TC015. Yeah, this test case is for TC015. Okay, wonderful, guys, wonderful. Okay. And okay, we have given here. I have a question for you guys. Think carefully and tell me, multiple test cases can have the same defect, guys? I'm just asking. Multiple test cases can have the same defect? Answer is 1 if it is yes, 1, 2, no. Yeah, there could be one test case. For example, okay, these test cases are all relevant. You see, you have entered the correct username, incorrect password, click on the login button. Incorrect username, correct password, click on the login. Incorrect username, incorrect password. For all of them, let's say it is allowing. Okay, for all of them, say it is allowing into the home page. All these 3 test cases have passed, and all of them you can raise the same defect. You see, this is correct username, incorrect password, incorrect username, correct password, incorrect username, incorrect password. For all these places, we have the same expected results, which is the user should not be allowed into the home page. For all the 3, the user is allowing into the home page, then all the 3 test cases have passed, and you need not have to raise 3 different defects. You can raise one defect for all these 3 test cases, guys. For all these 3 test cases. So sometimes you can have multiple test cases can have a same defect, and one test case can have multiple defects as well. I gave you an example where multiple test cases can have one defect. Anyways, so that is a different story. Now here we can give a defect description. Okay, defect description. What is the description? Here you have to clearly mention, okay, what is the description of this defect. Okay, but again, this is the description, not the steps. Okay, the description is, okay, with the incorrect, what is it, hang on, okay, with correct username and incorrect password, with valid username or correct username, however you want, with correct username and incorrect password. Okay, with correct username and incorrect password. Okay, application is expected to throw the error, but 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 the application is allowing the users to access the home page. Okay, access the home page. Okay, so is this correct, guys? Is this correct? Whatever I've put it, is it correct, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, क्या हो रहा है इधर? उसको एप्लीकेशन एरर एक्सपेक्ट, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, एप्लीकेशन एरर मैसेज थ्रो करना है, बट इधर क्या हो रहा है, इधर क्या हो रहा है, होम पेज का एक्सेस दे रहे हैं, वो डिफेक्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन. Okay, so that why this description is there, so that the developer can read it and understand what is the defect. Okay, so he should not, after reading this defect description, he should not come back to you and ask me, अरे यार defect समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, can you please explain bit better. You put it in such a way that nobody will come and ask you again what is the exact problem. Okay, you put as much information as possible in the description, so that please mute yourself, guys, please mute it, guys. Okay, so you have to put as much information as possible so that they will not come and ask you again. Okay, they will not come, the developer will not come and ask you. Okay, again, steps to reproduce. Again, in case if the developer needs to reproduce this defect, you have to put down the exact steps. Okay, steps to reproduce the defect. Again, you know, it goes to the development lead. Later on, the development lead will assign it to the developer. Okay, so first, before he moves the defect from new to open, what happens, only when the developer is confident this is the defect, so he will move the status of the defect from new to open. Before he does that, he might wanted to reproduce that defect. He might wanted to check the defect himself. So for that, you have to clearly lay down all the steps. What is the first step? Okay, open the login page using www.ishatrainingsolutions.com. ishatrainingsolutions.com. Wonderful. Okay, then what you will do, what is the next step? Okay, what is the next step? Okay, enter valid username and invalid or incorrect password. Okay, password. Okay, clearly you put what is the valid username is whatever the data that you have checked with. Okay, all that information you will clearly put, so that he will not come back and ask you with which username password you have checked it. Okay, password is whatever was the password. What was the password? Okay, Isha123. Okay, Isha123. Okay, so you will put all the information so that he will not, developer, while reproducing the defect, he should not come back and ask you. Okay, click on the login button. Okay, so these are the steps to reproduce the defect. Okay, these are the steps to reproduce the defect. Once you given, you think like this. Okay, this developer should not come back to you. Give as much information as possible on this, so that he will blindly follow the steps and he will be able to reproduce the defects. So that kind of information you will put it here. Okay, are we clear so far, guys? All of you, are we clear? Are we clear? Okay, Now the next set is submitter. Okay, so who is executing this defect, guys? Who is executing this test case? Syed is executing the test case. Syed thought that this test case was a fail, so Syed is raising the defect. So who is the submitter? Syed. Okay, obviously the tester is the submitter. Now okay, now we will look at the status of the defect. Status. Okay, what should be the status of this defect, guys? What should be the status of the defect? ये नया डिफेक्ट है. This is completely new defect. Priya, the new defect amma. Status em pettale? Open. Wonderful. Now this status of the defect is open because this is just to open now. Okay. Now later on, the development lead will follow these steps. He will be able to reproduce it and is happy that this is a defect. He will move the status to, sorry, this is open. No. This is new, right? Sorry. This is new. Okay. Whenever the defect is raised by the tester, here the status is new. So this is new. Once the developer will reproduce these steps and he's happy, then this is moved to open. This is moved to open. Okay, move to open, and then okay, assigned to. Okay, assigned to. There is one more status called assigned to. Okay, now what happens? First, what happens? The defect will be new. The defect will be new. The developer, the development lead will reproduce it, and if he's happy, then will change the. He will hang on, Swati, I'll cover that. Okay, so he will change the status to open, and once he opens, he will also assign it to a developer. Let's say the developer for this is Hussein. It is assigned to Hussein. Okay, Hussein. Are we clear so far, guys? Are we clear? First, when the status is new, okay, the tester will not assign it to any developer because he doesn't have any authority. He will leave this status to completely empty. We will leave this field completely empty. But later on, when the development lead has reproduced it in happy, then he will move this status to open, and then he will assign a developer to this. Are you okay, guys? All of you? Are you okay so far? Are you okay so far? Okay, wonderful, superb. Okay, now okay, date of submission. Okay, so the date on which this defect is open. Okay, so the date on which this defect is open. Okay, the date on which, hang on guys, one second. Okay, the date on submission. So which is the date today? So let's say today is today is when Syed has tested it. So 24th September 2022. Okay, are we clear, guys? All of you so far? Okay, are we clear, all of you so far? Okay, now carefully observe. Okay, there is something called build number and there is something called version. Think carefully. This is the version of the code and the build number of the code. Okay, build number of the code. Okay, these two things are also very important. Okay, I'll tell you the version number and build number, the difference. Okay, the version number and build number, the difference. Later on, I will also put the severity and priority. I'm coming to that as well. Okay, first let's try to understand the difference between the build number and the version number. Okay, so let me draw some picture. Okay, let me draw some picture. Let's say this is your application. Okay, this is your application, and the version number, I've already told you what is a version. So version number, let's say for this version is 8.3.7. okay, for example. Okay, so version number for this application is 8.3.7. okay, now what happens? This comes to the testing team. Okay, this comes to the testing team. Okay, so this application has come to the testing team. For what? For testing it. Okay, mail betava. Please let me know what is the next step అని పెట్టేసారు. ఓకే, అది పెట్టేసి ఓకే, నేను చేస్తాను. సౌరభ్ కూడా అది పెట్టేసేయమ్మా, మెయిల్ రిప్లై అవ్వాలి కొట్టేసి. సౌరభ్ ఉన్నాడు కదా, ఆయనకు వాట్సాప్ పెట్టేసేయమ్మా. సౌరభ్కి, షాన్ కూడా ఉన్నారు. సౌరభ్కి ఒకసారి వాట్సాప్ పెట్టేయమ్మా. Okay, so let's say this application is being tested. Okay, this application is being tested. Okay, now there will be a code change for that now. Okay, the testing team is testing it. Let's say the testing team is testing it. Okay, the testing team is testing this application. Okay, so the system testing team, I have already told you who do it. Okay, system testing team is testing this application, guys. Okay, system testing team is testing this application. Okay, they found the defect. They found the defect. Okay, they found the defect. Okay, they found the defect. Okay, they found the defect. The test and system testing team. Okay, okay, Savita, I haven't understood that, but I'll get back to you on that. Okay, but now you see the application is there 8.3.7, let's assume. Okay, it came to the system testing team, which is you, which is the manual testing team. They have tested it, they found a defect. They found a defect. The developer has fixed the defect. Now will there be a code change, guys? Will there be a code change? All of you, the developer has fixed the defect. The application on which the developer has fixed is version 8.3.7. Okay, will there be a code change? Will there be a code change? Yes, there will be a
Of
code
course, sir.
change, but it will not be 8.3.8. It will be 8.3.7 build 2. First let's say it is build 1. Okay, let's say this is build 1. Okay, let's say this is build 1. Okay, let's say this is build 1. Okay, now what happened? The tester has tested it, gave to the developer has fixed the code. Now this application version, there is a change in this piece of code. There is a change in this piece of code. So which means that either the version has to change or the build has to change. Here the version will not change. Okay, the build will be changing. The build will be changing. So now the build which is 2, the build which is 2, okay, the build which is 2, okay, the build which is 2, okay, sorry, the build which is 1 will be changed to 2, will be changed to 2. Again it came to the testing team. Okay, again it came to the testing team. Okay, the piece of code came to the testing team. Okay, okay, so again it came to the testing team have found some other defect somewhere else. Okay, found some other defect somewhere else. The okay, found some other defect somewhere else. Okay, the developer has fixed the defect, which means that there is a change in code. Now what will happen? Version will change or build will change? Okay, whenever the testing team is doing the changes, okay, there is a change in code, only the build will be changing, the version will not be changing all the time. Remember, guys. Okay, this application which is version 8.3.7 build 1 came to the testing team, they found a defect, the code is changed, the version will not change, the build will change. Again it came back to the testing team, again the code is changed, again they found a defect, developer has fixed the defect, again the build will change, not the okay, again the build will change, not the version. Are we clear with this, guys? Are we clear with this one? So more defects they are finding, many times the code is changing, that many number of builds it will happen. So let's say that this iteration happened 10 times, it came and you found the defect, there is a change in code, again build 4, again there is some more defects, the code is changed, build 5, build 6, like this, build 7, build 8, like this, there will be a change in the build. Okay, have you understood, guys? All of you, have you understood, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you might be asking, Kumar sir, when will that version will be changed? When will that version will be changed? Yes. Okay, from release to release. Okay, let's say okay, you have this piece of code which is version. Okay, after all this testing is come then done, you have this version of the code which is okay, which is the version okay 8.3.7. Okay, now this is done. Now what happened? The next release they are planning to add additional features. They are planning to add additional features to this application. So there is a new piece of code which is added all together, and now these additional features that are being added. Okay, so now the version will change, not the build. Okay, now let's say after everything is done, you have a build 3. After that there are no more changes, let's assume. So this build 3 was there. Okay, this build 3 was there. Okay, build 3. Okay, build 3. Okay, build 3 was there, build 3 was there. Okay, build 3 was there. Now what happened? in the later release they have added some additional features. This is not, the code change is not because the testers have fixed, the developers has fixed the defect. The code change is because there is additional features in the application. Are you understanding, guys? The code change is because there is additional features in the application. This is when the version will be changed. Now this original piece of code, and this is the additional piece of code. Now this whole thing you can call this as, now this whole thing, okay, now this whole thing, okay, now this whole thing you can give a new version altogether. Okay, this whole thing you can give a new version altogether. Version, okay, version 8.3 point, what is it, guys? 8.3 point, come on, 8.3 point, somebody speak it out. 8, okay, because 8.3.7. okay, so understood, guys, when the build will be changing and when the version will be changing? Understood, all of you, clearly? Okay, version will be changing
Yes, sir.
when there are new additional features are added and there is a code change. Whether the build is changing or version is changing, the source code is changing, guys. The code is modified, but build is changing because the developer has fixed the defects. Version is changing because client has asked for additional features. That is the only difference. Version will change from release to release. Build will change from in the release itself as and when the defects are fixed. Maybe every day there will be a new build. Every day there could be a new build, because every day the defects are being raised, every day the defects are being fixed. But version changes will happen only once in 3 months or once in 4 months, for new release. Okay, so we will give that version number and build number as well in this defects. Okay, so we will give the version number. Let's say this is 8.3.7. build number, let's say build 3. Okay, wonderful. Now this is very important, severity and priority. Okay, I have saved this for the last because I need to explain this in detail. Okay, so for now I'll fill some numbers to this. Later on I will explain. Okay, this is severity 2 and priority 3 defect. I'll tell you what is severity 2 and severe priority 3. Don't worry about it, but for now, okay, so that the tester, we have filled in this severity 2 and a priority 3. Severity 2 and priority 3. Okay, by the way, okay, I'll not even fill this one, but I will not even fill this one. Later on I'll tell you why I'm not filling it. Okay, so you see, who is raised this defect? Syed has raised this defect. What he has put, he has given a name called DF001. For which test case this defect is? TC01. Clearly given the description of the defect, saying that when you enter the correct password in correct username, incorrect password, the application is expected to throw the error. But what is happening? It is taking you to the home page, which is incorrect. How to replace the defect? Yes, open the login page using www.ishatrainingsolutions.com. Then enter the valid username and invalid password. The developer might confuse what is the valid username, invalid password. So you already given that, and click on the login button. Okay, wonderful. And then you have, every time the new defect has come, the status will be by default new. You have given the date of submission, version number, build number, and the severity. Later on I will explain what is the severity and priority. Okay, now what happens? This defect automatically goes to the dev lead. What dev lead will do, he will check if this defect is correct or not by following these steps. If he feels it is correct, what he will do, guys? What he will do in this Excel, he will change the status to what? He will change the status to open. Okay, and he will also assign the defect. Let's say Hussein is the developer. For that, he will assign the defect to Hussein. And since it is a severity to 2, which means it is very severe, then he will immediately work on the defect. Hussein has worked on the defect. Okay, defect. Now Hussein will take 3 days. 3 days means what? 24th, 25th, 26th, 7th. Again, it's a weekend, right? 25th is a weekend. So 26th, 27th, 28th. On 28th, he has fixed the defect. On 28th, he has fixed the defect. He will move the status to fix. Now Syed will do, he will retest the defect. If he thinks that this is good, he will close the defect. Okay, this is how the defect life cycle will happen. Are you absolutely clear with this, guys, all of you? This is extremely important. There are a lot of questions in the interview they will ask you. Okay, so are you clear with this, all of you? All the 13 people attending the class, absolutely clear? Superb. Okay, wonderful guys, wonderful. Okay, wonderful, superb. Okay, now sir, this is clear, but what is this severity, sir? What is this priority? I'm totally confused. What is this? Okay, so I'll come to this, guys. I will come to this. Okay, so what is the first thing when that that came to your mind when I said severity? Can somebody unmute and tell me what is the first thing that came to your mind when I say that, severity? What is the first
Sir,
thing?
severity is how serious, but like severity.
Wonderful, wonderful, superb. How serious the defect is? Severity means what? How serious that particular defect is. Okay, and who will decide the severity? The tester. Tester will decide the severity. Who is the tester in our case? Syed is the tester. Syed will decide the severity of it. Syed is decide the severity of it. Here he has already decided the severity of it. He has put it. He put the severity to severity 2. This could be even severity 1, but again he can decide what is the severity. So he has put the severity 2. Sir Kumar sir, what is this severity 1, 2, 3, 4? Again, this is the rating, guys. This is a rating. Movie rating is there, na? Movie rating, everybody. Okay. Recently, there is a movie called Chup released. Okay. I don't even know the rating of that movie, but they have given the 5-star rating. Rahul has given the 5-star rating. Okay. Now there is another movie which has released. 5-star rating means what, guys? Superb. The movie is superb. If you give a 4-star rating, the movie is not. It's okay. It's good. You can go watch. 2-star rating means, yeah, bakwas movie hai, like, ghatiya movie hai, very bad. Similarly, severity 1 means what? Severity 1 means what? Severity 1 means what? Severity 1 means very bad defect, very severe defect. Man, this is like really bad. Okay, things are really, this defect is really dangerous defect, very severe defect. Severity 2 means, yes, it is a serious defect, but not so serious. Severity 3 means, yes, not so serious. Severity 4 is very minor defect, not bad at all. Okay, so this is what some companies use it. Some companies, what they'll say, instead of severity defect, they will say fatal defect. Instead of using the terminology severity 1, they're using the terminology fatal. For severity 2, they will give a terminology called major. Okay, severity 3, maybe they're using the terminology called minor. This one is suggestion, just a suggestion. Okay, suggestion. Okay, suggestion. Okay, so again, it depends totally on the company, guys, whether they wanted to use this terminology or they wanted to use this terminology. We are nobody to tell them what terminology they have to use. Okay, so they wanted to go. Okay, hang on, guys. They wanted in your company, let's say you are hired to Infosys and they are using this terminology. Yes, it is fine, not a big deal. You have joined Wipro. Okay, in the Wipro they are using this terminology. Yeah, not a big deal. Okay, you understand what is severity 1, 2, 3, 4, or fatal, major, minor, suggestion. Or some companies, I go to TCS and they are using this terminology, severity 1. Okay, they are using this terminology called sev 2, which is severity 2. They are using the terminology called sev 3. They are using the uh, okay, and they are using sev 3. Okay, sev 4, sev 4. Okay, so like this. Okay, so they can use any of these terminologies. They can use this terminology or this terminology or this terminology. Okay, and there could be another terminologies, guys, which I might not be aware of. Okay, but these are I work for multiple companies. Some companies use this terminology, some companies use this, some companies use that terminology. Okay, so all good, guys, all good. Let's try to understand each of those now. Let's try to understand each of those now. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, superb, superb, superb. Hang on, guys. Something I spilled over the coffee completely. Just give me one moment. Okay, now let's try to understand each of those fatal, major, minor, and this thing. Okay, let's take one example. Okay, okay, so username, we go back to our page where the field was led username. Okay, so username. Okay, let's go back to our okay, okay, hang on. Okay, hang on, where was that page which was there? Okay, yeah, not this one, not this one. Okay, not this one as well. Okay, okay, this page is there. Okay, so this is how the page should be. Okay, okay, so watch here carefully, guys. This is how the page should be. This is how the page should be. Okay, they have drawn the picture for you, and as per this you have written the test cases. And now when you have opened the page, when the actual actual application is ready and you have opened the page, okay, this field is available, this field is available, this field is available, but the login button itself is missing. Login button itself is missing. Okay, do you think this is a severity 1 defect, guys? What do you think? I want to ask you.
4. Oh, sorry, 1.
Severity 1. Okay, because
Yeah.
without
Yes.
logging in you will not be able to test anything else. Forget about
Yes.
testing this page. Yes, obviously you cannot test this page, but you cannot be able to test all the other pages as well, because you will not be able to enter into the application. How will you enter into the application without the login button? Tell me, right? So first you will not be able to test this page. Second thing is you will not be able to enter into the login. You will not be able to enter into the home page. If you cannot enter into the home page, all other test cases which are there for the next pages you will not be able to execute, which means that the testing cannot start at all, or the testing is not possible. Okay, this is what is a severity 1 defect, or some people will call it as a showstopper. What is that? They will call it as showstopper. Okay, you should start using this word, showstopper. Okay, showstopper means पूरा show stop कर दिया, वो पूरा testing stop हो गया, all the complete testing is stopped. Okay, you can also call this as a showstopper. Okay, now we have raised the defect. Now we have just raised the defect. Okay, and correct username, incorrect password, it is not supposed to allow, but it has allowed. What is that particular defect? How can you rate the defect? Severity 1 or 2?
1. Severity
Okay,
1.
to 1. Okay, some people think that it is severity 1 and severity 2, but I would like to call it as severity 2. Okay, in login page. Why? Because it is not shopping, it is not stopping your testing. You can continue your testing. Yes, it is a major defect, I understand, that needs to be fixed. We cannot allow every Tom, Dick and Harry to start using the application, because even with the wrong your password, it is allowing you, which means that anybody can use it. Anybody can get into the application and mess around with the application. Yes, it is a serious defect, but you can mark it as a major. Yeah, if you want to mark it as a fatal defect, yes, but once you mark it as a fatal defect, now even the higher management will wake up, and then they will be concentrating what is the defect, what has happened. There will be a lot of escalation calls, mails, so much of hangama will happen. Trust me, guys, this has happened. Okay, this has happened. Okay, so definitely, yeah, you can mark it as S1, but again, you are making the whole environment, your upper management will wake up, and everybody will be making a lot of noise. Developers will be in panic mode once you raise an S1 defect, telling you guys. Okay, so unnecessarily don't raise an S1 defect, because once you raise an S1 defect, it is like a red alarm, like that ambulance signal is there na, kui, 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 that kind of, see, that's what happened. Everybody goes to the panic mode, even the highest management goes to the panic mode. Okay, so don't raise the S1 defect unless it's really stopping your defect, or it is really major, you cannot move forward. Okay, so this is a major defect, okay, I would say, but some of you think that it is a S1. I'm okay with that, but again, uh, do 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 remember that, yeah, it will create problems. Okay, it will create problems. Okay, minor is more, and I would say look and feel, guys, look and feel. Okay, for example, okay, you have opened the page has come up like this. You see, login is like this, clear is like this, and forgot is like this. Is there a consistency here? Is there a consistency, guys? Does it look good? Does it look good? Okay, does it look good? I'm asking you, is there a consistency here? This is in capital letters, some other font. This is in small letters, some other font. This is small letters, but even smaller font. This doesn't look good. And if somebody is looking at this application and this is how it is really developed, then they think that this is not a professional website. Yes, this is a defect. Somewhere they will say in the requirement that font should be blah blah blah. So if you see that font spelling mistakes, this is placed, this is supposed to be on the right side, this should be on the left side, that kind of look and feel defects, you can put it as minor defects, minor defect. Okay, who will decide the severity, guys? Again, I'm asking you, who will decide the severity of the defect? Who will decide the severity of the defect? The tester will decide the severity of the defect. Finally, the S4 defects are suggestions, F4 are suggestions. Okay, S4 are suggestions. Okay. So it is mostly the user friendliness. Okay, user friendliness. Okay, somewhere you are entering, for example, you are registering. Okay, you are registering for that page. Okay, registering for that page. Okay, or for the look and friendliness. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so you enter the username, you click on the password. Immediately over here there is a let's say okay, you enter the username, you click on the password. Immediately there is a message which says that the cap lock is on. Cap lock is on, because sometimes you don't know the cap lock is on and you're entering the password, you end up entering the wrong password. Is it correct or not, guys? Is it correct or not? Okay, so that kind of user friendly message where it says as soon as you click on it, in case if the cap lock is on, so it should show up that message that cap lock is on. Okay, if you have purposefully put on the cap lock and because your password is caps, it is fine. But if you haven't purposefully put it off, it is done accidentally, then this message will help you. You will uncap it and then enter the password. Those kind of user friendly messages are not coming, then you can put it as a S4 defects. Okay, so most of the defects are S2, some of the defects are S3, and very rarely we get into S1, and some of them will be S4 as well. So 70 to 80% of the defects usually fall into this S2 S3, guys. Almost 90% will be S2 S3. Okay, so are we okay, guys? Swati has asked a question. Swati Achanta, I'll take that question certainly. Okay, but before that, are we clear with the severity? Everybody, 100%? All of you? Okay, now there is a question our Savita has asked. Okay, everybody understood now? 9:31. Is this the message received now? Okay, wonderful, guys. Superb. Okay, now Savita has asked a question. Okay, what is a deferred defect? Everybody understands by the word defer. Okay, what is the meaning of defer, guys? What is the meaning of defer? Okay, now you look at it. What is defer, guys? What is defer? Can somebody read it? DEFER, not DIFFER. Okay, Rahul, good try. It is not different. But what do you mean by defer, guys? Deferred means what? Can somebody read it out to me? Please unmute yourself. Deferred means what? So Swati, this is your question. Please unmute yourself, Swati. Swati, are you there? Swati
Postponed,
is there.
sir, deferred.
Postpone. Okay, defer is postpone.
Deferred
Now
means
tell me.
post.
Now you tell me, Swati. When I said deferred defect, okay, deferred defect. What does it mean?
It will we do it in next iteration, right? Am I right?
Wonderful.
I'm doubting.
Wonderful. Okay, so the defect is postponed to next release. Generally, you have release after release. So some of the defects will be posted to next release, because I told you when I'm creating the test plan, you remember the exit criteria. In the exit criteria, what we have done, we have said that all the S1, S2, S3 defects needs to be closed, and there could be S4 defects, but still we can close the release. So these defects which are there, which are not fixed, for example, the exit criteria is S1, S2, all the 100% of S1, S2 needs to be closed, the defects, and there could be 10% of S3, S4 defects could be there, which means that let's say you have raised some 100 defects and 10 defects are there, which are S2, S3, which are still there. Yes, with those defects you can still make the application go into production, and those defects which are not fixed, they will be deferred to the next release, which means that it will be taken care of, but not now, but at the later point of time. And these defects will be called as known defects to the end customer. The end customer who will be using it, you say that these are the known defects with which we are releasing the product. Okay, but don't worry, if you see these defects, we'll fix it at some point of time. Okay, deferred means release to the postponed to the next release. Swati, are we clear with it? That is not your question. Savita's question. Sorry. Savita, can you unmute yourself? Savita, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. So have you understood, Savita, now?
Yes, I got it.
ఓకే సో సవిత ఏమవుతుందంటమ్మా, అన్ని డిఫెక్ట్స్ మనం ఫిక్స్ చేయము రిలీజ్ లో. ఓకే, కొన్ని డిఫెక్ట్స్ ఏంటి అంటే
Okay.
టైం ఉండదు డెవలపర్ కి. టైం ఉండకుంటే ఏం చేస్తారు, అక్కడ ప్రొడక్షన్ టైం అయిపోతుంది, ప్రొడక్షన్ లో డిప్లాయ్ చేయాలి కోడ్ ని, టైం అయిపోతుంది. సో ఏం చేస్తారు, కొన్ని డిఫెక్ట్స్ ఓపెన్ చేసేసి దాన్ని డిఫర్ చేస్తారు నెక్స్ట్ రిలీజ్ కి, ఈ కోడ్ ని ప్రొడక్షన్ కి పుష్ చేసేస్తారు, వాటిని నోన్ డిఫెక్ట్స్ అని కూడా పెడతారు. రిలీజ్ నోట్స్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది ప్రతి ఒక్క టూల్ కానీ అప్లికేషన్ కానీ, రిలీజ్ నోట్స్ లో నోన్ డిఫెక్ట్స్ అనేసి పెట్టేసేసి దాన్ని పుష్ చేసేస్తారు. ఓకేనమ్మా సవిత? Okay, Savita, I don't know if you speak Telugu, but I understood looking at the name that you speak Telugu, and I tried to explain this in Telugu. Okay, now the next question is, Savita has asked the next question: which testing will do initially when we get the build from developer? Sanity, smoke, after that regression, am I right? Okay, so this is the next question of Savita. I'm posting that question to all of you guys. Now somebody in the class can answer who has been following the class. Okay, as soon as you get the build, as soon as the code is deployed into the testing team, which testing will we do, guys? Please tell me. There is a subtle difference between smoke and sanity. I have told you, more or less they are same. Okay, you will definitely do the smoke testing first, and after that you will do all your regular testing. Okay, then if there is any defects or something like that, then you do the regression testing. I told you the difference between retesting and regression testing as well. You do your normal execution of the test cases, okay, which is the system testing, and after that you will do the regression or retesting depending upon the need. Okay, so Savita, are we clear with this, Amma? Savita? Yeah. First smoke testing, then your regular testing, which is your functional testing, then you do your retesting or regression testing. Are we clear, all of you? So Savita, are you there? I'm totally surprised. Savita, I'm answering this question for you. Okay, so if you're not responding, then there is no point. Yeah. Okay, so wonderful,
Yes.
guys. So we have deviated a little bit. Yes, because Savita has asked the question. Now we have understood what is a deferred defect and what we do initially. Yes. Now let's go back to our defects. Let's go back to our defects. So in the defects, we have clearly understood what is the severity. So this defect, let's say I am Syed. I have decided this defect to be S2. Okay, if Priya wants to mark it as S1, she can mark it, but she will create the panic to the developers and everybody, and developers will come and also request Priya, saying, Priya, please don't put literally just like that S1, only which is very, very important, put it as S1. Okay, that's one the people will say. Okay, yeah, wonderful, guys, wonderful. Okay, now there is one thing called, if you are not asking the questions, please mute yourself, guys. Please mute yourself. Okay, please mute yourself if you are not asking the questions. Okay, now listen to it very carefully. Now we have gone through what is severity. There is something called priority as well. Okay, when you first hear the word priority, what comes to your mind, guys? When you first hear the word priority, what comes to your minds? Okay, how fast, okay, importance, or how fast. Okay, so now today I gave the work to Swati, let's assume, and say that this is the priority work. What do I mean that? What do I mean by that? Okay, what do I mean by that? When I say this is the priority work, what I am telling to Savita, yes, you have 10 other works, but needs to be done first. This needs to be done first. Is this right? Swati, I have given the work to you and say that this is the priority work. What do I mean? Swati has 10 other tasks, but this task needs to be taken on priority, or this task needs to be taken right away. And once this is done, she can start working on the other work, which means that how fast that needs to be taken. Okay, if I put P1, priority 1, which means that this needs to be taken very, very on priority and needs to be fixed first. If the developer is doing something, whose defect who needs to fix the defect? Hussein. And once the priority is one, what will Hussein do? He will keep all other work aside, and he will concentrate only on fixing the defect. If this is priority 2, he will take little more time to fix it. Okay, if he is priority 3, yes, he will take his own piece of time. He will take 2 to 3 days or 4 days and fix it. And priority 4, yes, he will take even more time. Different companies have different ways. Okay, some companies, they priority 1, it needs to be fixed less than 1 day by the developer. If this says priority 2, he can take 2 days, less than or equal to 2 days. Okay, priority 3, he can take less than or equal to 4 days or 3 days, whatever it is. It depends on the company, guys. And priority 4, okay, he can take 4 days or more, or 1 week or something like that. Okay, so this kind of thing is defined by different companies. Okay, so you go and this Hussein look at this chart, and depending on the priority, he will see how fast he needs to fix the defect. Okay, are we okay, guys? Are we okay, all of you? Are we okay, all of you? Okay. Okay, so again, the terminology is again there. Some companies use P1, P2, P3. Some companies will say critical, okay, high, medium, or low. Okay, so again, different companies have different names. Okay, some companies P1, P2, P3 critical, or some companies say Pri 1, Pri 2, Pri 3. Okay, Pri 1, Pri 2, and Pri 3, Pri 4. Okay, different companies have different terminology. So depending on the terminology, they can use this terminology. Now you tell me, who will give the priority to the defect? Okay, see, Syed has raised the defect. He has given the severity. Hussein is fixing the defect. Now you tell me, who will raise the priority, or who will give the priority of the defect?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, generally in my company, I'll tell you what I used to do. I only used to give the priority as well. I only used to give the priority, but I mean, when I said the tester will give the priority, I used to do. I'll telling you what is the process that I am following. That may not be the industry standard, but I used to give the priority. Later on, the development lead is, let's say, who was the development lead that I said just now? Okay, who is the development lead? Partha. Okay, now Partha is the development lead. Once he changed this defect from new to open, okay, he's opening the defect, right? He's changing the new defect to open. So what he will do, he will assign it to Hussein, and he will think that if this is a priority to defect, he will change the priority to 2, or if he thinks that this is a priority 1, he will change the priority. Initially, that's what used to happen in my companies. But let's see what is the industry standard. I think the client or the business guys needs to provide the priority ideally, but I don't think they have that kind of time to go look into each defect and give the priority. Okay, so let's see who will provide the priority to defect. Okay, let's assume, okay, who will provide the priority to the defect. Okay, the priority of the defects is defined by the business stakeholders or project owners or project managers or business analysts. They are the ones who are supposed to give it. That's what I thought. So okay, generally the project managers or the somebody who represents the business, somebody who is a product owner, they will be giving the product owners. We have already discussed now when we are discussing about the agile methodology. So they are the right people to give the priority, but I don't think they have that kind of time to go through each defect. Let's say there are 20 defects, they have to go through each defect and give the priority. I doubt it. So in my company, I'm telling you guys, I used to raise the priority, and sometimes the development lead thinks that that's not the appropriate priority. He used to change it, but that's what used to happen in my company. But ideally, who is the one? The project managers or the product owners, okay, or the business analysts, they are supposed to give the priority. Okay, so in the interview, this question will be definitely asked: who will be giving the severity to the defects? The tester. Who is giving the priority? You can say the product owner or the project manager or the business analyst or the business stakeholder. But you can also tell them that in my project, the tool is allowing me to give the priority. Okay, and the development lead used to change the priority if required. Okay, but again, that may not be the industry standard. You can also give the answer in that way, whichever you are comfortable. Are we clear, guys? All of you, are we clear, all of you? If you are clear, then I'll come to a very, very, very important question. Okay, if you are clear, I'll ask you 100%. There are some 100% interview questions. I'll come to that 100% interview question if you are clear. Okay, okay, wonderful, guys, wonderful. Okay, superb. Okay, now 100% interview question. Okay, have you raised the defect? Yes. Can you give me some defects which are severity 2 defects, which is severity 3 defects, which are priority 1 defect, which are priority 2 defect? Okay, I've already explained severity 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at some defects which are priority 1, 2, 3. Okay, or okay, however you are not assigning, the tester are not assigning. Okay, fine, let's not worry about that. But there is some interview questions, I'll say. Okay, okay, least, okay, least severity and highest priority. Okay, first coming to this, generally high severity defects are generally, I'm saying generally high severity defects are high priority defects. Okay, priority defects. Do you agree with me? Okay, let's say the login button is not there, then definitely you wanted to fix it within 1 day or as quickly as possible, so that the testing needs to resume quickly. Okay, definitely high severe defects are high priority defects. Do you agree with me or not, guys? Let's say login button itself is not there. Yes, it is highest severity, then definitely immediately the defect needs to be fixed as well, which means that it is the highest severity. Let's say somewhere in the button, the login it should be capitals, but it is smalls. Yes, this is the low severity defect. Generally it is the low priority as well. Okay, so generally what happens, high severity is high priority, low severity, okay, low severity are generally low priority. Okay, low priority. This is how generally, that's how happens generally, because if the severity is low, they will take more time. If severity is high, they will take less time. Okay, generally high severity, the priority will be high. Low severity, the priority will be low. Generally that's how it will be. But the 100% interview question is, okay, 100% interview question is, name some high severity and low priority defects. Can you think of anything, guys? Can you think of anything which is very high severity but low priority? And second thing is low
Yes, sir.
severity and high priority, okay, so yeah, so let's concentrate on this first second one. Okay, low severity but very high priority. Okay, very high priority. Can you think of any defect? Yeah, somebody said yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. It's a logo.
Logo,
Logo
wonderful.
spelling.
So wonderful. Okay, let's say we are building a website. Okay, ishatrainingsolutions.org. Okay, ishatrainingsolutions.com. Okay, we are building this website. Okay, we are testing this website. Okay, we are testing this website. Okay, so anybody thinks that their logo is very, very important for them. Okay, the logo is very, very important for them. So what is the logo here? This is the logo. Okay, this is the logo. It is very, very important. For some reason, the logo is incorrect, the breadth and height is incorrect, or the color is different, or whatever it is, there is some difference in the logo. There is some difference. There is the logo has been not placed correctly. The wrong logo has been placed, or the size of the logo is not correct, or the color of the logo is not correct. But whatever it is, the logo is not correct. The background is bad. Okay, the logo is bad. So now tell me, is this from testing point of view, this is high severity or low severity? Severity I'm asking. Is it badly affecting your application? No, this is a very, very low severity defect. I would give severity 3 defect because it is more like, okay, I will give low because it is more like look and feel problem. Look and feel, even you can give severity 4 as well. Okay, it is severity 3 or severity 4 defect you will give. Okay, I'll give you severity 4 defect. Okay, now for some reason the developer, the company people also will be checking this website, what is happening, how these guys are developed it. They wanted to look it as well. So you have given that URL to them. They have opened this page. First thing they have seen, their logo is very, very bad. Will they be happy about it? I'm just asking. Okay, will they be
No, sir.
happy about it? No, the whole brand comes with the logo, and the logo itself is incorrect. They think that, these guys doesn't know anything, how can they put my logo incorrectly? Okay, then what you do, these kind of things, you prioritize them, you give a P1. Even though it is a Sev4, it is a P1. And especially, let's say the client is visiting your company, you are working for Infosys, the client is visiting. When he is visiting, definitely he will ask, open the website to show, to see what kind of testing is happening, what kind of development is happening. He will definitely check it. Okay, so he's coming to your premises tomorrow. Then obviously this Sev4 defects becomes immediately the P1 defect. Okay, even though it should be priority 4 defect because it is a look and feel defect. Okay, but definitely it becomes a priority 1 defect. But again, this is a 100% interview question, guys. Okay, you can say the logo is changed, or the brand name is incorrect, or the company name is incorrect. Okay, or something is incorrect, which is a look and feel, which is severity 4 defects, but he is coming tomorrow, that becomes a priority 1. Okay, come with something which is low severity but high priority. Severity is very, very low, but priority is high. Yeah, this is what, okay, sorry, this is severity is very, very low, the priority is very, very high. Come out with a defect where severity is very, very high but priority is very low. Okay, Swati
Sir,
Achinka. Yeah,
website privacy policy, like because of it's not important, but it's important. So high severity and low priority. But
wonderful, superb, Abhishek. What they are saying is, okay, what you said, Abhishek. Yeah, the privacy policies, okay, or something, privacy policies, okay, policies of the company. Okay, whatever is going on the website is very, very sensitive data, guys. Privacy policy is very, very important, very, very sensitive. It can get into you all the legal obligations. Very serious problem. Yes, in terms of severity, it is very, very severe, but in terms of priority, okay, in terms of priority, severity, it could be severity 1 because it might affect the business in a very bad way. Okay, but priority 4 because only goes into production, it is a problem. So they will slowly fix it, not a problem. It need not have to fix it right away. Just give me one moment, guys. Okay, so kaka నేను క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నారని మళ్ళీ కాల్ చేస్తా. Okay, so what I'm saying, yeah, class luna kaka. So what I'm saying, guys, is, so this is a severity 1 because it will affect the business very, very badly, so that needs to be fixed at any cost. But priority 4, yes, before releasing it into production, that need be fixed. This is just a spelling mistakes, we will slowly fix it, not an issue. This is a priority 1. Or let's say, okay, so I'll give you one example, guys. I'll give you one example. If you go to book my show, okay, you have selected the seats and everything, okay, selected the seats, and while you're saying the pay button, it will give you the app options, banking. Okay, you have selected the banking, it will give you the options ICICI. Okay, once you click on ICICI page will open or not? Have you seen this, guys, all of you? Okay, so this ICICI page should be given to Book My Show. Okay, Book My Show will not create this ICICI page. The ICICI people will give this to Book My Show. They are called web services. Okay, let's not worry too much about it and get into that. They are called web services. So this web service needs to be created by ICICI and given it to the Book My Show. So let's say that page is not given to the Book My Show at this point of time, let's say. Okay, then this is a very, very severe defect, because the payment option, one of the payment option is missing, which is severity 1, but they will move it to priority 4 because it is dependent on somebody else. Okay, this is dependent on ICICI. They are supposed to give it. The developers cannot do until the ICICI people can give it to you. They will peacefully move it to priority 4, which means that whenever they will give, all they have to do is just make a small integration and that will be done. Okay, so those kind of things also falls under these kind of things, because these are definite interview questions, guys. Please watch this video again and again. 100% this question will be asked in the interview. Okay, okay, are we clear, guys? All of you, are we clear, all of you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now I'll close the class with this. Okay, so I'm closing the session, or there are some more sessions. There are small few things are there. Should I cover this, or should we congregate tomorrow or come back tomorrow and cover? There are maybe half an hour class left. Okay, to understand, few more things. Okay, should we come back tomorrow, spend half an hour time to close this, or we want to do it right away? I want to ask you guys. I'm okay either ways, but
Tomorrow.
you listen to more things, the things will evaporate. Definitely I'll be taking it maybe tomorrow, but 6 or 6:30 or 7, I'll tell you. Okay, but definitely we will be coming together. Okay, but do you want to do it today or tomorrow? Please tell me, guys. I want to hear from
Tomorrow.
all of you. Tomorrow. Okay, so but again, these are very, very important classes. The last 2 to 3 classes are extremely important, guys. Okay, please watch them multiple times, make the notes out of it, do more research, come out with more low severity, high priority, high severity, low priority defects. Okay, then tomorrow, if possible, I'll also quickly go through a sample resume as well. Okay, so and then we will try to close it. We'll try to close it. Okay, and also now I'll tell you the importance of automation testing as well. Okay, and we will close it. We'll look at a sample resume, we will look at some more concepts, and we will close it. Okay, so morning it is possible, but some of the US guys might miss out, so I'll try to cover it over now itself. Jaydeep has come out with some interview questions. Okay, so Jaydeep has asked the questions, guys. I'll see if I can answer these questions. Okay, so let me put those questions in the chat window and then we will try to cover it. So Jaydeep is more into interview questions rather than, okay, which is important as well. Okay, so what is happening? Okay, generally what happens, listen to it, guys. Once system testing is done, all the defects are fixed and everything, then user acceptance testing is done. Okay, user acceptance testing is done. Once the user acceptance testing, all the defects are fixed and everything, then code goes to production. Do you agree with these, guys? We have already discussed this in detail. Okay, once system testing is done, what you will do, okay, then you will do the user acceptance testing, and there are no defects in all this, then it goes into production. Okay, production. Now you tell me, in user acceptance testing, are there any types of testing, guys? Are there any types of user acceptance testings? Jagdish, tomorrow's at 6 o'clock itself, if there is any change, I'll put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, again, these are very, very important interview questions Jaydeep has asked. Okay, so first system testing is done, first unit testing is done. Okay, unit testing is done. We all know this process now. Then unit integration testing or integration testing is done. Okay, then system testing is done. Okay, then system testing is done. This is where you are involved. Okay, then after system testing is done, then user acceptance testing is done, then the code goes into production. Do you agree with me or not, guys? Jaydeep, are you there? Please unmute yourself. It's not just asking the question, you
Yes,
should
sir.
respond to it. Okay, you know this thing now. First unit testing, then integration testing, then system testing, then UAT testing. And then in UAT testing, are there any types of testing, Jagdish? Okay, first alpha testing is done in UAT, then beta testing, right? Then beta testing. Okay, then beta testing. Okay, so beta testing. Okay, generally it will, whatever it is there, it will be caught, but still the defects have gone into production, which means that what is that, Jagdish? Even after so many testings where you are involved, Jagdish, this is the system testing is where you are involved. Then the business analyst will be doing these two testings, which is not your problem. Okay, then the code goes into production, and then they have found the defect. Who is the owner of the quality? Yeah, the testers are the owner of the quality. Most of the defects comes in this particular system testing. We are supposed to catch it, which we haven't done it. Okay, that's when the defects goes into production. Will this happen in the real time? Certainly it will happen in the real time. Some of the defects will go into the production because one thing is, either you haven't tested it properly for every single requirement. You haven't come out with the test case, or there are some test cases that you have missed, or you have not tested it properly. That's when it goes into production. Do you agree with me, Jaydeep?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now the question is little tricky, Jaydeep. They have not found the defects, but in the production they have found the defect. Is it for something that you have already tested, and then you have tested it, the same feature is tested in UAT or system, it is the defect has not found, but the same functionality, it goes into production, they have found a defect, then definitely there is an environment problem. Okay, Jaydeep, so let's say
Yes.
login feature is working fine in your system testing and user acceptance testing, but it went into production and the login feature is having a defect, which the defect was not reproducible in your environment. The defect was not reproducible in your environment means the defect was not present in your environment. The functionality is working fine, but it went to production. The same functionality which is working fine in your system testing environment and UAT environment, that is not working fine in the production environment. Then the issue is with your production environment, or the issue is with your testing environment, wherein it was not given the correct environment. Either one of the environment mismatch, because of which the same feature which was working fine in your environment is not working in the production. Jaydeep, do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is the first possibility. Second possibility is, okay, when you have tested it, it is build 8, but in the production build 11 has been there, which means that there were some code changes. Whenever there is some code changes, the regression testing needs to be done, but for whatever the reason the regression testing was not done, then the defect has come out. Do you agree with me, Jaydeep?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
when you did the system testing, it was build 8, but when it goes into production, it was build 11, which means that there were some code changes. Maybe some performance testing is done, something was done, the build was changed, again retesting and regression testing needs to be done, which was not done. So the defect which was not there before has actually, you have introduced, the developer has introduced at the later point of time. That is the next possibility. Okay, the third possibility is you have not tested that feature. Okay, and that feature had a defect which you have missed it, and that was caught in the production. This is what most of the times happens. Okay, are we clear, Javdeep? These could be the three possibilities with my knowledge and experience. Is it okay, Jaydeep? Yeah, buddy, are you there, Jaydeep? Okay, now next question is, okay, watch this question very, very carefully. You have less time to execute more test cases. What is your approach to convey to the client? Okay, let's say, okay, you have written 10,000 test cases, guys, 10,000 test cases. You have only 15 days to execute those test cases, which is not possible. Okay, what you will do? Okay, let's say you have 10 chapters to read, okay, for the exam, and you have only 1 day to prepare for the exam, okay. Now what you will do, guys, you cannot read all the 10 chapters because the time will not permit. What you will do?
The importance question and answer are
Sir,
read. I mean,
important question.
Okay, only
Those only need to be
important questions or chapters you will read it, others you will ignore them, or in other words, you will prioritize the questions or chapters. Most priority or important questions, you will read it. The other ones, if you have time, you will do it. Otherwise, you will not read it. Similarly, you will prioritize your test cases. You will prioritize the test cases. Okay, if there are 10,000 test cases, prioritize the test cases. If there are 10,000 test cases and you cannot execute all of them in 15 days, then you can say that I can only execute 1,000 test cases. Yes, you will prioritize the test cases. Whichever is important test cases, you will test it. Whichever which is not important, maybe you will push it to the next release. And this prioritization you will not be doing. You will be sitting in front of the client with the business analyst. I have done this multiple times. The business analyst will be called for the meeting. As per their knowledge, as per what they think is important, you will prioritize those test cases. You will prioritize those test cases. Okay, you will sit with the business analyst. You will walk through the test cases, and they say that this is important, this is not important. Immediately you will mark them as important. The business analyst sometimes could be lazy. They say that I cannot review all the 10,000 test cases. Why giving additional work to me? Then you will say prioritize the requirements, and based on those prioritized requirements, you will prioritize the test cases, because your test cases comes from the requirements. If important requirement, those becomes important test cases. Not so important requirements, this becomes not so important test cases. Okay, have I answered the question, Jaydeep? You have went away, but I have
Yeah,
answered
yes,
both the
sir.
questions. Okay,
Yeah,
so
sorry,
this
sir.
is
I
how
was
you
missed
will
actually.
answer. Okay, this is how
Sir,
you
first
answer.
question.
Yeah,
First question. It was testing was not done properly. Actually, it's not a build issue.
there is no right answer for Jaydeep. Maybe you haven't done this. Okay, so testing is not done properly. That's what you are telling me. That is the third. Again, I told you testing is not done properly. That's where most of the times that's what happens. Okay, looks like you were there when I said it or not. But yes, I gave you three
I was
options.
missed
Okay,
actually.
the third option is testing. You missed out that particular test case or not done testing. So definitely that could be the possible reason. That's what I told you as well. Okay, but that cannot be the only reason. Okay, so there are multiple reasons for that, which I have
Yeah,
told
how
you.
to convey them? How to convey client?
That's what you're telling. How to convey the client means, so what do you say? Yes, the testing was not done properly. Yes, we have missed out on the test cases. Okay, but test lead will be doing it. Okay, test analyst will not be doing it. Okay, so how to convey to the client, it depends on the test manager or test lead, saying that yes, this test case was not priority test case, we haven't tested it, or the regression test case is missed out, or the time was not there to execute the test cases, hence we have missed out those test cases. But even if you say that, he will be pissed off, because you're supposed to tell them why you're not executing the test cases. Time was not there, you're not executing it. You would have told him upfront, saying that yes, out of this 1,900 we have executed, 100 we have not executed, there could be defects for it. And later on in the production that defect came, then the client will listen to it. But later on you're telling, after everything has happened and defect went into the production, and the client came back saying that this is a defect, you cannot tell them at that point of time that you have prioritized the test cases and you have missed it out. He will be pissed off, trust me. Okay, so how to convey? Yeah, this is something you have done the fault, you have to somehow fix it. Different managers do it different way. I will go and tell him honestly, saying that yes, we haven't tested it, it was our mistake. Yes, there was lack of time. You say that yes, there was no time, the developer took too much time to fix the defects, and then a lot of regression testing needs to be done. We have prioritized that work, we have missed out on the we have missed out on the test cases. Yes. Okay, how to convey it? There are 100 ways to convey it. Say that it depends upon what is your rapport with the client. Yes, this is all about telling lies. How well you can tell the lies, you can. If you want to tell the truth is only once, where you have not tested it, yes, you have missed out. But whatever the reason why you have not tested it, you convey it. Is it because you don't have the time? Is it because you are lazy? Is it because somebody who were working has left the organization? Okay, there could be 100 reasons. You tell him whatever the reasons is. Okay, are you with me, Jagdish?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
if you think that this only one answer is right, then that is not correct. Okay, somebody, there are four
Oh,
testers and one of them left the organization. All the test cases that he has to do it, somebody new person has come in, yes, but they have to understand everything, so he took a lot of time, so we couldn't do that work on time. Yes, or the developer took a lot of time to fix the defects, and then some of the defects fixed later, and that added additional efforts to you. Yes, or the code that was deployed, or we were supposed to start our testing on general reason is, yes, this is the reason. We were supposed to get the code, the testing environment was supposed, we were supposed to get it on September 1st, but we got it on September 15th. So we started the testing 15 days delayed. So the testing was delayed by 15 days. Yes, the testing was supposed to be there for 1 month, but the developer have took 15 extra days, which means that we got the code 15 days late, which means that we had only 20 days to execute. Earlier we had 40 days to execute. Now we had only 20 days to execute it. So yes, we don't have the time, and then we have missed out on it, and then that's what happened. This is generally happens in the real world. This is the common reason, where your testing is supposed to start on September 1st, but the code was not ready. It has started on September 15th. Yes, we have lost 15 days, so we couldn't execute all the test cases. Okay, but you will not go tell to the client after the code is deployed into production. You will tell it upfront, saying that yes, so our testing was supposed to happen for 40 days, but now it is cut short to 25 days. We have worked even Saturdays, Sundays, but still we could not execute all the test cases. Hence, there is a defect. Or you can say, yes, we have prioritized our test cases, okay, because the testing time was limited, and this defect which was percolated into production is because the test case is not so priority test case. Is it okay? Is it okay? It looks like a valid reasoning,
Yes.
Jaydeep?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but again,
Yes,
there
sir.
is no right answer, wrong answer, Jaydeep. Whatever happened in the real time, that's what you will explain it to him. More lies we tell to him, more upset the client will tell. Okay, but whatever it is, you tell them upfront, not after the defect went into production. While doing the testing itself, you tell them that yeah, we have missed out on these test cases. There will be a defect. If there is a defect, yeah, it will come to production, which we are not responsible for. Okay, that is how a good test manager will do. Okay, again, I told you other areas as well. Yeah, environment mismatch could be there, which the environment team has not done the good job, or there are some other builds, the newer build was there which was not tested at the later point of time. Yeah, but that happens very rarely, but that happens sometimes as well. If the interviewer is not exposed to that, yes, we cannot do much about it. Okay, but there could not be one valid reason. But anyways, I'm happy that you have asked the question. I could answer that question. Okay, yeah. So on that note, I'm closing today. Tomorrow, come back at 6 o'clock. If there is any change in the timing, it will be half an hour here and there. I'll come back and I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted on the group. Okay. And we'll get started. Okay. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.